Okay, so we're going to try this again. The first time I put this deck lid on, I got it on. I got it to shut. I got it to function. But I made some huge mistakes. Okay. First thing you want to do is take these grills off. All right. So talking to Mark Clay, he gave me this pro tip because in lining up your deck lid, you can reach in from the side and slide, the deck lid slides back and forth so that you can get the right positioning on the deck lid. So it's what I'm talking about, the gaps and whatnot. So that's the first step. You want to take these side grills off, give you access to the bolts on the side when you're putting it together. Okay, so step number one is done. The grills are removed. Now, let me show you a mistake I made. These security bolts, I repeat, do not take them out. You do not have to take them out. The only reason to take those out is if you're replacing the tension bar, which I did and talked about in a separate video. But it even says in the manual that be very careful, or do not remove these, or else bodily injury or injury to your vehicle may occur and probably will occur. It's a good thing my son-in-law is strong as a bull, because he was able to move these tension bars back with just a channel locks. So anyway, please don't remove those. Big mistake. Mistake number two. Okay, you see I've unplugged this plug right here, and I've cut these cables. These cables are, were once upon a time connected down here, but I personally don't think you really need them. I mean, I don't see this deck lid flying off the car. Okay, but anyway, so I'm not going to use these. They're cut with a pair of snips. Okay, there's the end of the plug. I installed this deck lid with a plug on the opposite side of the car. Okay, so I'm gonna have to reroute the electric through this side of the deck lid. Okay, so that's pro tip number two. Make sure you're routing the electric through the right side of the deck lid. All right. And okay, this is called your RF plate. Okay, and this is a ground that goes into your RF plate. This little ground that keeps the engine noise from coming through your radio. Okay, RF. I'm guessing that means radio frequency. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now. But anyway, that's what that's for. That little clip, that little ground right there is so that when you're listening to your AM radio, because I know you listen to AM radio all the time, maybe news radio, talk radio, then the engine noise won't come through your radio, or at least it's less likely to come through your radio. So that's what that's for. All right, put that out of the way. So now that we've unplugged our electric, our ground wire, we are ready to take off our deck lid. So grab your Stanley ratchet and your 13mm. I'm propping the deck lid with my head. Let me stop right there. Okay, I've honestly lost track of which pro tip we're on, but what I've done is I've outlined this hinge with a black Sharpie so you can tell where you're at. That helps with lining up your hinges when you get ready to reinstall this. All right, remember what I said about do not take that security bolt out of there. Just take my word on it, you don't want to do that. But what you can do is back those out a little bit, because what happens is there's a little recess in here that bolt sits into, and what you have to do is pull that security bolt out of the little recess it sets in, and then the deck lid just slides right out. So we'll show you that. So Ben, if you'll go on the other side, this is a good two-man job, because one person can do it, but two hands really makes the job a lot easier. Okay, you got your sign? Got my sign? Got a good shot of my granddaughter there. Got no shot of it. It lifts right out, honestly. Just one hand in it. And we'll just set it right on the ground. So there you go. That's what it looks like. I really thought that those tension bars would send this bracket right through my window, but it didn't. It's right where it should be, of course, because it's hitting this hinge right here. Boy, I feel really foolish. But anyway, there you go. That's why you don't want to take that security bolt out, because I mean, you can imagine if I can pull that down, how much pressure's on there. Yeah, no, but there's some serious tension there. So don't take that security bolt out. If you need to back it out just a hair, you can do that, because you can see from this angle, where's my finger? I can't even see. There you go. It comes out of that metal flange there a little bit, and that interferes a little bit when you're trying to take it out. But it's really not necessary to back that out. You just pull this kind of out of the way. All right. So that's how you remove the deck lid, and we're going to rerun that electrical line and put the deck lid back on. Okay, so we've drilled out the end of that channel. We've run the electric down to the lock and put it back together, and now all we have to do is tighten those bolts, and we are ready to put this back on the Fiero. So basically, the installation is the reverse of taking it out, just like anything else. You make sure you put your clip back in. Make sure you put your ground wire on. You don't, of course, don't have to worry about these cables anymore. Plug the electrical in. Tighten down your bolts. Make sure your gaps are in the right place. Put your grill pieces back in, and you're done. Hey, if this video was entertaining, helpful, or you just like Fieros, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, Fiero fans, this is step one on doing my hood. Now you can see I've started sanding my hood. I've got my 320 grit sandpaper just on a regular rubber block at $7 over at AutoZone, because my garage is a mess and I couldn't find the one my dad gave me, so I had to buy another one. Anyway, 320 grit. We're not getting her down to the bare, almost said metal, plastic, but just enough to scuff it up, just enough to where the primer will stick. Okay. Now, after I sand this whole thing, you'll see on some spots there's low places like this, and I have to fill that in, because I learned from my deck lid that shows up. Any little imperfection, anything in here will show up unless you cover it, unless you fill in these spots. So that's what I'm going to do. And of course, after I get done sanding, then I'm going to wipe this down with some wax and tar remover and clean it up real good. Wait for that to dry, and then I can start spraying primer on it. But I just want to let you know, I got 3 things going on today. I want to fix my deck lid. I made a mistake, and I'll show you that later in putting it in. And so that'll be a how-to or how not to, and how to correct the mistakes that you make. But anyway, hey, as long as you fix the mistake, then it's a learning experience and not a mistake. So I've got that going on. I've got the hood going on, and then I want to, do some cleaning around the engine. And the good thing is, putting my deck lid on, my trunk area doesn't leak anymore. It's drying out, so I'm super excited about that, because it's a bummer when you have that trunk area, which, by the way, as you know, holds 2 full-size golf bags. But you want to put things in there and keep them dry. Put in an overnight bag, or your tools or whatnot, and expect to keep it dry. That's what it's there for. So putting this new deck lid on, that thing is drying out real good, and I'm going to shampoo that today, I hope. I got a whole laundry list of things I want to do on a Saturday, and I want to get all this done before tomorrow, because tomorrow's Mother's Day. Shout out to all moms out there. And where would we be without our mothers? So that's the projects for today, and I hope you'll follow along with me. Okay, I wanted to show you something. I've wiped it down with the wax and tar remover, and it's always a good idea to let that dry, because when you put it on there, it's going to look shiny and whatnot, and you wait for it to dry, and now you can see where you missed, or better yet, where I missed. And up at the top part of the hood, I didn't really get it sanded down well enough. At the bottom I did. Anywhere where it's shiny. If it's shiny, then you either still have clear coat or you have paint. And so any place that it's shiny, just go ahead and go over it one more time until it's dull, and then wipe it down again with the wax and tar remover. That way you know that your primer is going to stick really good to the plastic. Okay, so here's the end of the day. Of course, I booked too much for one day. Not my fault, because it started raining, and I'm not going to be shampooing any carpets in the car when it's raining outside. So this is where I've got until I ran out of primer. And so, hey, I'm excited. Any forward motion is progress, and we're very happy with that. So here is what I got going at the end of the day. I'm about to go inside and eat some chicken tenders and some mac and cheese. My daughter's making dinner for my wife for Mother's Day. So I'll end the video with this. If you have any comments, questions, please leave them in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications. And I'll talk to you later.